Hi, my name is Jenny Marshall, and I have been going to Sunrise since 2016. And I got married in 2016, shortly before I started coming to Sunrise. I was raised in the church, and my parents were my security blanket. And even though I was raised in the church, the religion that we had was more on the surface. I always sensed God's presence when I would play the piano and sing at church, but I didn't necessarily know how to transfer that feeling to the other parts of my life. So after high school, there was like a series of events that happened in my 20s that just left me very lost and alone and just really hurt and a lot of pain. The first one being my parents got divorced when I was a senior in college. And so my security had always been in them, and they both remarried shortly after they got divorced, so now I'm an only child. Also, they added like a mentally abusive stepfather into the mix of all that as well. I was in a relationship most of my 20s with a guy named Mike. I always thought that we would get married and have a life together. Unfortunately, when I was about 30 years old, Mike passed away in a boating accident. So not only did I lose him, but I lost his family as well. It kind of just made my self-worth just plummet into just about nothing. So instead of dealing with all of those losses and pains and griefs, I found a different way to deal with it. I basically became a workaholic. I just thought if I would be successful in my career, that would give me the happiness that I was seeking. I had been working about 70 hours a week, which is insane. God had to do something pretty dramatic to get my attention, because I clearly was going down this very self-destructive path of just working and not paying attention to anything else in my life. And we were a few weeks away from a really big deadline for the audit I was working on. And I got sick. I got the flu. And that flu very quickly turned into pneumonia. And I was in the hospital for about 10 days. I was pretty much forced to take months off of work. And so unfortunately, a really bad depression set in. Just feeling like you want to be better, but you physically can't. You physically can't get out of bed. You physically can't do the things you want to do, or things you used to enjoy doing, you don't enjoy doing anymore. You just feel kind of mute. So at the time of my wake-up call, John and I had been dating for about 1.5 years, but because John is the kind of guy that he is, he stood by my side. So at that point, I sought help for my depression from a Christian counselor. Once I started to get treatment for my depression, our relationship just completely blossomed after that. My depression diagnosis was the catalyst I needed to go down a different path. So I really desired to connect with other people. I had dabbed here and there in like other big churches in town, and I just got lost in the crowd. We started coming to Sunrise. The way people have embraced me, it's almost given and shown me Christ's love. It's given me permission to love myself again. I don't know how to say that without crying. You know, I've joined a Bible study. I've joined a life group. I've started studying scripture more. I've started learning more. I participated in the month of prayer. I have made a lot of friends here that don't really feel like friends. They feel like more like family and like people that will be there for me no matter what. They push me. They push me to be better and to grow in my faith, especially in the area of worship arts. I have been continually pushed out of my comfort zone time and time again. So the way that I look at music now is a lot different from how I used to look at it. And what I'm learning to do and still working on is letting all the insecurities that I have about myself and, you know, how I sound, how I look, I'm trying to let all that go so that God's presence can come directly through me to everyone else, so that it can be this powerful worship experience. So there's a lot of ways that God has changed me. The first and foremost is I love myself way more than I ever have in my entire life. And also, I truly believe in my life or anyone else's life that you are specifically assigned certain mountains so that you can show everyone else that you can move them. I'm learning and I'm growing, and God is starting to speak to me through prayer and scripture. God specifically designed us to have that emptiness in us so that we run to Him. Because any sort of earthly thing that we try to chase to fill that happiness, it's always going to fail us at some point. It may work temporarily, but it's always going to fail you at some point, and God is the only thing that will never fail you.